Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
The Phoenix Suns finally did it. They won a basketball game on Christmas Day for the first time since 2009, and they look nothing like the flatlining team that was blown out of the gym in Denver 2 days earlier. So, do you believe in miracles? Because if what we saw last night was truly internal, if it was all about energy and hustle and grit and defense, then why has it been so difficult to find? And if it was there last night, why has it been missing for the better part of the past 2 weeks? This is why I remain somewhat suspicious, and I'm not alone. Many smart basketball observers have seen the recent stretch of basketball as a doomsday clock that has begun ticking, counting down the days to the ugly, awful, painful rebuild that will be inevitable at some point in time, leading the Suns to might having to trade Devin Booker just to recoup the draft picks and the future it does not possess. But for one night at least, the alarm bells have been silenced. The Suns showed up with more than Christmas spirit on Wednesday. They showed up with real competitive spirit and a real edge. The kind of stuff that takes a lot of energy and a lot of cohesion. And yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
I mean, honestly, man, if you go back and look at all those games, that's why we lost. Just weren't having fun. Weren't enjoying it. We're just pressing, trying to make the perfect play. And, nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to, be the guy that makes the mistake. Everybody wants to, contribute to winning and make the right play. And sometimes you just get caught up in not having fun, and why you play the game and all that. And I think just finding that joy, it uplifts you in every category of the game. It gets you going in every facet of the game. So we're at our best when we're having fun, the ball's popping, we're getting stops, and we're just letting it fly.
All right, so it's obviously not that easy. It's not all about just having fun. You don't wake up one day and go, you know what, let's enjoy ourselves a little more. And then suddenly you become a world.
Yeah, you know what's fun? When you win.
Yeah,
I think that's directly correlated.
Does fun lead to wins, or does wins lead to fun? I tend to believe the latter.
I tend to believe the latter. So, but I do think that going into last night's game, there was a feeling we have not had here in quite some time, and it was a feeling that it's over. And I'm not saying it's true, but it was a vibe. A lot of people were kind of hovering over that this thing hasn't worked, it's not going to work, and this is all going to end very badly.
You know why else? It's because they lost the 2 games without Devin Booker. Because the thought, as bad and up and down as the season was, people were thinking like, well, as long as Kevin Durant played, and it was almost literally this, as long as Kevin Durant plays, the Suns are going to win. Mm-hmm. The fact that it was looking like if they're not 100% healthy, that this team just can't win games, I think Suns fans started to feel the dread of what is this season going to look like?
Yeah. So again, I said this, it blew my mind when I saw the stat. Basketball Reference gave the Suns, this is before last night's game, gave the Suns just a 15% of even making the playoffs. That is how far that they had fallen in perception. It's how far they had fallen in metrics. And there was a lot of stuff. And more than anything, when Bradley Beal talks about a lack of fun, we haven't been having fun. That's accurate in some way, and it's accurate in the way where it doesn't feel like this team is driven by a collective energy, which is weird because, as we've noted, Kevin Durant has brought more of that stuff this year than he brought last year because he's probably happier with the head coach, the program, all that. He's brought a lot of good vibage. He's brought some passion to the basketball court. The way he lit up Yusuf Nurkic a few games ago on the court. So he's brought that stuff, but even so, it just felt like the Suns were lacking. They're lacking that glue, that stuff that sort of connects all the teams that are really threats to make a run for a conference championship. And one night isn't going to change anything, but at least it changed the doom and gloom.
I tend to think that team wins is not the only thing that's fun. It's individual wins. It's what did I get out of tonight? And of course, Bradley Beal had an excellent game, both offensively and defensively. So what else is he going to think? He had a great time last night, of course. But the thing is, like, team basketball usually leads to a happy culture and environment. Whereas I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, the ball movement we saw yesterday, the team chemistry you see, defense, from guys like Okogie and Ryan Dunn, who are maybe the 8th and 9th best player on the team. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Right.
Like, when those guys are happy, it's when they're being successful at what they're asked to do, which is not score 27 points a game like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and sometimes Bradley Beal. Every individual player is happy based on what they accomplish themselves. It's selfish, but it's the truth. And so when the whole team feels happy like yesterday, that's when you know you're at your best, because I understand what he's saying. You know, I don't think they played well because they had fun. I think ultimately you had fun because that's the most collectively you felt together.
That's it.
All season long.
That's exactly it. So, and it's because they actually made hustle plays. They were engaged. They had a good amount of offensive rebounds. They had a good amount of steals, which deflections and steals are the analytics you look at to see if your team is really playing defense. If they're really, really putting in the effort on that side of the ball. And last night the Suns did. But again, if that's a will, if that's a want to kind of deal, then where has it been? And that's the next question this team has got to answer, no matter how long Devin Booker is out.
Yeah, and whether or not you can do it with Booker in the lineup. And that's not a knock on Booker. We all know how great of a player he is and can be for the Suns, but it's more about what can those guys accomplish on an individual level with him in the starting lineup, especially Bradley Beal, because we know they play the same position fundamentally. We know they do similar things well. We know they both need the ball in their hands. We know they both need to score. So when Devin's in there and scoring 27 instead of Beal last night, how much is Beal scoring? And is he having as much fun now?
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.